Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. Today is Monday, September 19th, and the transit that we're in right now, I covered in last week's transit report. So if you want to find out what's going to be true today and tomorrow, go and watch that video. And then we have a new transit that's starting on Wednesday, September 21st, the equinox. So let's go ahead and dive in. So happy equinox, happy fall equinox in the north and happy spring equinox in the south. This is a time of balance, and it's known in the north as a time for harvest. This is the end of the summer and it's the beginning of fall. And we're harvesting all that we have created so far this year. We're taking stock of what it is that we've been engaged in and what we have created. And we're also bringing in the fruits. We're also letting go of what is now outdated, what's worn out, what we don't need anymore, with gratitude for how it has served us so far. And in the south, it's the beginning of springtime, and it's the time for planting and for planning and for getting ready for the expansive time that is really going to kind of explode after the spring equinox. And in the north, we really dive into winter after the fall equinox, because during that time, the light really changes on whatever side of the world you're on. When you're at the equinox, it's this pivot point, and then all of a sudden, wherever you're going, so if it's the spring equinox, the days get really long and you get jetted into spring. If it's the fall equinox, the days get really short and you get jetted into winter. So I invite you to have some celebration for yourself, whichever side of the world that you're on, and to be, lighting a candle, saying some prayers, saying your gratitudes, having some intentions for the new season that we're going to be moving into. Before we dive into the specifics of the new transit, I just want to take a moment to note that we are deep in retrograde season. We have 6 planets retrograde right now because Mercury just went retrograde about a week and a half ago. And it'll be retrograde until the beginning of October. So we now have 6 planets retrograde. So you can see here in this image that all of these outer planets and now Mercury are all retrograde. So if you feel like things are kind of sluggish in your life, or if you're having trouble moving forward with things that you maybe had planned or desired, if you feel a little bit like you're moving through quicksand or peanut butter, or just like it's a little bit difficult to create new things, that's going to be that way for a while. Now, I did an entire series on retrograde season and all of the outer planets. And if you haven't had a chance to check that out, here's the playlist, and I would encourage you to go and watch them because it's really quite interesting. And I think that you might find some specifics that you can work with regarding these retrogrades, and you'll also get a bigger picture of when things are retrograding and moving forward and what the themes are that these planets are lighting up. So I encourage you to go ahead and do that if you haven't already. And this transit that is starting on the equinox is really a beautiful one because it is lighting, it's the vessel of love. That is the incarnation cross that it would be if we ran a whole chart for this day. But the sun is moving into the gate 46, which is the love of the body or embodiment in quantum human design. And the earth is moving into the gate 25, which is the love of spirit or simply spirit in quantum human design. The reason this is the vessel of love is that it is on the G center. So the G center is the yellow diamond right here, which is what we think of as the heart center. In human design, we have 2 heart centers because we have the will and we have the G center. But the G center, I think, is what we typically think of as the heart in the sense that it's associated with love, lovability, identity, and direction. And so both of these gates are on the G center. And so they have to do with these things. They have to do with direction. They have to do with our identity, who we know ourselves to be or consider ourselves to be, the stories that we tell about ourselves. and also about how we experience and express love, how we share love, how we also have kind of agape love, which is like divine love. So all of this is here in the G center. In addition to that, we still have the nodes that are lighting up the 1 and the 2, which are in the knowing circuit that runs through that G center. They've been there for a while. They're going to be there for a while, but they just keep continuing to light up this love energy that has to do with our purpose, our self-expression, and also our ability to allow in resources, to be receptive. The magnetic monopole is in the 2, so that's how we attract things into our life. So we have a lot of heart energy that is being activated and highlighted during this coming transit. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the Earth in the gate 25. The gate 25 is in the centering circuit, and so it is individual circuitry. The centering circuit is a small circuit, like the defense circuit in tribal circuitry. That's also a small circuit. It just has 2 channels, and the 25 is half of what's known as the channel of the shaman or the priestess, and it is the spiritual component of that. Its mate, the 51, is the gate of shock in traditional human design, or the gate of initiation in quantum human design. But this is about an energy that that channel connects the 2 parts of the heart, right? The will and the G center together. And so this is the place where we're really initiating ourselves into this kind of agape love, this kind of higher consciousness. The ability to really feel the qualities of the heart, kindness, compassion, love, and to be able to be just experiencing this and not necessarily having an object of it, like a lover, right? Or even a child or a parent. Not necessarily somebody like, I love you, but just I am love. I experience love. I express love. I move through the world with love. I act with love in all of the different things that I do. So this is really kind of our highest expression when we can come from that place. It's kind of simple, but it's definitely not easy a lot of the time. But the Earth is inviting us to ground ourselves into this sense of spirit as love. And how do we do that, right? How do we open ourselves up? Because let's face it, a lot of people have a lot of armoring around their heart. It's almost like they've locked their heart away in a prison. Unfortunately. So how do we open our hearts so that we can really experience and share that love, and how we can receive it both from the flow of life, right? The larger consciousness, and also from the people in the world, and also from the natural world, because Gaia is always resonating and radiating love as well. So how do we be in a world where we are aware of all of our interconnections through the web of life, that we are a part of this great flow of life? We are part of the creative intelligence. We are an expression of that. We're not separate from it. We're actually not autonomous and independent the way we've kind of been taught in the ideology of individualism. We're actually a part of this larger divine force that has created you and me and our world and the universe, right? So this Earth in the 25 is inviting us to lean into that and to see what would it be like if we could really ground ourselves the beginning of every day. This is one of the things we do in Kundalini Yoga, okay, is we ground ourselves in this sense of expansive love that is non-judgmental, that is not punishing, that is accepting, and that it allows us to be able to be with our diversity and our conflicts and our challenges, and it's always inviting us to address those things with the most amount of love that we can muster. We also have the sun in the G center. It's in the gate 46, which is part of the sensing circuit. The sensing circuit is right-brained energy, and it's creative, it's expansive, it's experiential, and it's embodied. So this is the love of the body, or embodiment, as it's been renamed in quantum human design. And I love, love, love this gate. I do not have it defined in my chart, so I don't have that kind of defined relationship with it. But it is this sense that we have been gifted with this incredible human form that is truly miraculous when you stop and think about it. You've got 50, 60, 70, depending on who you listen to, trillion cells that are all humming and working together to create this form that you get to experience. And most of what's going on in there is not something that you're consciously aware of, right? You're not in charge of your digestion. You're not in charge of your elimination. You're not in charge of your breathing most of the time, or your heartbeat, although you can change your breathing, which is why pranayama, or conscious breath practices are so powerful. Because this is such a key part of what keeps us alive, right? I mean, without breath, we can't live, more than, a few minutes before the brain starts to die. So breathing is really important. But most of these physiological operations are things that are going on without us even knowing it, right? And we take our bodies for granted a lot. We kind of abuse them. We put poisoned food in them. If you're eating GMO food, it's basically poisoned, right? So we do that. We eat like poisoned food. We don't give it enough exercise or enough fresh air, enough time outside. We wonder why we don't feel so well, and then we just decide to, have some more ice cream and try and forget about it. Right? I'm not saying you necessarily, me on occasion, but when we love our body, when we come down from the thinking tower down into this miraculous form that we have, we start to experience life truly through our body. It's like that when Dorothy comes out of, her wrecked house, into the land of Oz, going from black and white into Technicolor. It truly is a miraculous and mysterious shift, because the body has so much wisdom in it, and it has so many sensations that we get to feel. And a lot of times we ignore our body because we haven't taken care of it, and then it doesn't feel very good, right? And so you're doing your best not to feel, that pain I have in my back, or, how stiff I might feel, or how I wish, I looked a certain way, because, certainly, women in Western cultures, boy, we've been really taught to hate our bodies. So you have the opportunity during this time while the sun is lighting up the gate 46 to turn that around and to learn to really love your body. Our bodies and our relationship with our body is so important that it is pillar number 3 of feminine sovereignty: vitality, embodiment, and our connection with the natural world. And one of the things I say in that chapter is that your relationship with your body is your most intimate and longest term relationship, because your spirit came in and animated this form, right? And that is how you came into this world. And it's how you're going to go out is at that last moment, your spirit is going to exit and the body is going to start to die and disintegrate. But until then, you're with your body, right? And yet like I said, a lot of times we ignore or abuse our bodies, not necessarily purposefully, but, we can just get addicted to things and not pay attention and not do things that we know will make us feel better. So I really encourage you to use this light of the sun during this time to shift the way that you think about your body. If you have any negative thoughts about it and negative perceptions of it, or if you just kind of ignore it, and live up in your head, which is very easy to do, given that we are on computers a lot of the time, we're on our phones a lot of the time, we're not necessarily really down in the body. And one of the best ways to do that is to go out into nature. Take off your shoes if it's not too cold, and, lie down on the earth, sit and put your back against a tree. Feel the way that this form is actually part of the natural world, right? Because what is this form other than a sack of water, right? With a bunch of minerals. I mean, that's basically what it is, plus your spirit, which is animating it. And so connecting with the natural world with your body can be very beneficial for you in terms of breaking this kind of trance that we have with our minds and coming down into the body and coming to really appreciate it. And for those of you who are generators, pure generators, manifesting generators, this also really helps you get in touch with your sacral and your sacral authority. And your sacral is like your best friend when you get to know it. But when you live up in your head all the time, it's hard to feel the wisdom and the guidance that comes through your sacral. So if you can ground yourself in love and really feel the love of spirit and know that you're animating this form with your own expression of spirit, your own consciousness, and to use that to then love your body, to, confront the ways that maybe you've been conditioned or programmed to not love your body, or ideas that you might have had about, how you've got too much belly fat, or you've got too much stuff on your thighs, or, how you're not pretty enough, or you can't fit into X, Y, or Z clothes, whatever that is, just get a handle on it, right? And learn to really love this form. Because you know what? When you do, you're going to have so many benefits that you don't even realize right now. But I can guarantee you that you will, because when you have a really thriving and nurturing and supportive relationship with your body, with your longest term, most intimate relationship, and you elevate it to a higher expression, everything in your life is going to be better. Okay, that's my transit report for this week. I hope that you enjoy the equinox. Please do celebrate and, love your body. Let yourself be filled with the love of spirit, and treat people with kindness, treat yourself with kindness, and go forth out into the world, shining your light, both for yourself and for everyone you come in contact with. Okay. Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.